Welcome back to the Backlog Breakdown. Today, we do not have an episode for you, nor do we have a bite-sized. Rather, we have an announcement, and we're both here to announce something special today.
Indeed. Well, yeah.
It's something that I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I can hear in your voice, that you're pretty excited about it too. No, so in lieu of the upcoming holiday, today we're declaring our independence. That's right, our independence from some of the opening forms that we usually follow at the beginning of the podcast. But at the same time that we're declaring independence, we're also strengthening our bonds with our network of friends, with the Play Well network. So thank you, America, for paving the way for us. We're just taking a cue from those founding fathers. You're just loving this. You're like, yeah. Not even gonna say anything. Anyways, no. Okay, what does all this mean? What is the actual announcement that we have? It means that starting with our next episode, we're essentially going to be splitting what we've been doing with the Backlog Breakdown podcast and we're splitting it and creating 2 shows out of it. Okay. So we'll be inviting friends from our network to join us, and we'll be calling that for what we used to do as the first half of the podcast for those opening forums. We will be inviting in friends from the Play Well network, and we'll be discussing those opening forms, sharing experiences together, and the It's Been segment that we've done, that we continue to do. All of that. All of those kinds of conversations, even just talking about, the things that we've been into lately, some of the media we've been consuming, even the video games we've been playing, all that is going to be a new show that's going to be called The Pwn Call. Or actually, I probably should have straightened this out first. Is it a Pwn Call or is it Pwn Calls? Is it plural or singular?
I just imagined that I think that every time we've talked about it, it's been singular. Like, it is the Pwn Call.
There you go.
Yeah, and sometimes it will just be you and me, and sometimes it will be friends of the Play Well network as well, or whatever. Or so it's just basically the first half of the show is being spun off into its own thing. This is just, and we were going to have Mark to sort of jump on here and explain some of this, but I dropped the ball because.
There you go. See, Mark is a fellow member of the Play Well network. In fact, if you don't know, if you're only just now, picking up on some of the things that we've been throwing out there, when we say Pwn, we're saying that there's an acronym for PWN, the Play Well network. So anytime you hear, there's something like a Pwn Call, we're calling it a Pwn Call because it's a fun pun, but also because it's a call with members of the Play Well network. As you said, sometimes it's just going to be the 2 of us. Sometimes it'll be 3 people. Hey, 4 people. Whoever is able to join. Obviously, friends and fellow patrons and stuff like that. But that's going to be the more I would say more collaborative part. That's going to be a little bit more dressed down, a little bit more reflective on some of the things that we've been engaging with. And then what we've been doing for our main episode content is going to continue as the Backlog Breakdown. Each of these shows now, the Pwn Call and the Backlog Breakdown, are going to be released on alternating weeks. So they will be released bi-weekly. So one week you'll get a Pwn Call. The next week, you'll be getting the Backlog Breakdown proper, where we dig into a topic, a game, and of course, we will continue to have guests as they appear. But we are your co-hosts. I didn't even introduce us this time.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an announcement. Here we are. Your hosts, your friendly.
You're Josh.
Hosts.
I'm Nate.
That's right.
If this is somebody's first time, this is a really awkward first episode.
No, but yeah, so that's in a nutshell. That's kind of the big announcement is we're splitting the podcast. We're making 2 shows. It's still coming out every week now. It's just going to be in a little bit different form. So why did we decide that we want to make this change? Well, frankly, it's your fault. No, not really, but partially. So we've been listening to feedback about the podcast. Okay. Sometimes the overall episode length, when it gets into like 3.5 hours, 4 hours, whatever, that can be an issue for some people. And other people just prefer to skip past that first half, the opening forms that we typically do. Because they really just want to listen to the main topic, something along those lines. Now you can do that because they're going to be separate. At least they're going to be delivered with a separate name, separate title,
Yeah.
At the same time, yeah.
It's the same amount of content, but accessibility and digestibility are it's going to be a little more approachable. So, yeah. And if you like kind of the old format, then you can just sort of sit for 2 weeks and you listen to it all in one shot. And in some ways too, this does actually open us up for like more content as well, because one of the other things we're going to be doing is that bite-sized style content is going to be releasing on Fridays.
Yep. Yes. Our schedule is we'll get to that in just a second, which is, I mean, for me, it's one of the more exciting parts of the announcement. So, I mean, maybe that's just because the whole splitting thing, we've been talking about it behind the scenes for a while. But what this leads to is that we'll have content coming out from our network multiple times a week, but then also, like you just mentioned, it allows us to release different types of content throughout the week as well, as it's being produced. So just to double back though on the pwn call, and the reason we've always had these opening forums is that we do think that it is important, or at least we still think it's valuable. I'll put it that way. We think it's valuable to have some of these conversations that contextualize the way that we play video games, the way that we interact with media in general, and where our heads have been at lately too. That's still a good thing, and especially for us as friends, but also kind of the larger, again, Play Well Network community.
Yep. And I think as a general rule, like the defense I've always made for like the opening forums is like, yes, it's become more formal, but like those were conversations that we were having anyways a lot of the time. And it was a way to put friendship on display. Sort of an inspiration for that really was Doctrine and Devotion with Jimmy Fowler and Joe Thorne. They would get a lot of feedback about their banter. And Joe and Jimmy actually mounted a bit of a defense and said, like, this is how we are in real life. This is like our friendship on display. And I really like that. I thought that was really good. I think that a lot of times with this content, we can become a little too reductionist. I think that we can just sort of try to boil it down to information or arguments or bullet points. And I think it's important to actually include a human element there as well, where it's like, this is not just two guys, and that does tie into, again, sort of, maybe it's not explicitly dealing with the themes or, the underlying ideologies behind games, but it's actually, again, it's kind of putting friendship on display. And I think that's an important element.
Yeah, we still believe in it, even though, again, we've been listening, we've been getting feedback, we understand, hey, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but we continue to think that it's valuable, and so we want to continue to have it, just in a slightly different format, and that being the pwn call. So, one, you get more manageable lengths of each episode that's released, whether it's a pwn call or whether it's that's now what will be continuing as the Backlog Breakdown podcast, our main content that we produce here. It also allows us to invite on friends without requiring them to sit down with us for like 5 hours at a time. So there's a little bit less of a commitment if anyone wants to jump in. So that's nice. Not only that, it does help us to highlight this network of podcasts that we have together, the Play Well Network. And what mentioned earlier, we're going to be syncing up our release schedule so that there's something new for you multiple times a week. So In order to do that, the last announcement outside of splitting these episodes, last announcement is that we're going to be moving our release dates from Wednesdays, when we typically release all of our content, to Mondays. So every Monday, you'll be getting something on the Backlog Breakdown feed, whether you're listening to us on a podcast right now or whether you're watching us on YouTube. Mondays will be the new days that you get your fix of Backlog Breakdown. Either that's going to be the Pwn Call episode, or that's going to be the podcast, the Backlog Breakdown episode. On Wednesdays, you're getting a new episode of our fellow Playwell Network show, Quick Play. So he produces content on a weekly basis as well. And so Wednesdays are when you get that. So every week you'll be getting something new from the Playwell Network on Monday. Excuse me, on Monday? Did I just say Monday? On Monday and Wednesday.
It has been a long week. Yeah,
you know.
So.
But definitely looking forward to the future. And moving forward, any bite-sized content that we have or supplementary episodes, like we mentioned, those are going to be released on Friday, in addition to the weekly Monday drop here on this feed where you'll get our stuff. Yeah.
Well, and I was just going to say, and I don't know if you were going to talk about this or not, but we also have plans on going back and some of our older content, bringing that forward and putting that on YouTube. And so that's going to be more of a not super consistent thing, but that's also, we got into YouTube fairly late in the life cycle of the podcast, and we have a lot of content, which, it's, some of it's okay. Some of it I stand by. Other parts I'm like, boy.
We have learned a lot over the course of 215 episodes.
Yeah. So there is that. So that's also something that is, sort of, I know that for, some of our listeners, they've pretty much said that like YouTube is their primary, using experience, and we're not going to abandon, like I said, it's for the podcast, podcatcher crowd. It's the only thing that's going to change is that Mondays, the breakdown and the Pwn Call are going to air. And for now, it's all going to be, that stuff's going to stay here, on the, on the breakdown feed or, the breakdowns YouTube channel. So,
Yeah. So with that, just scheduling, like I said, 2 drops on this feed, and then Quick Play on Wednesdays. We do have other podcasts that are part of the Playwell Network that just don't have as regular drops, so they're not included. But go check them out as well. They're always a good time. Absolutely. We, like you mentioned, we do have other ideas and things that we want to bring to the table. Repackaging old content, clips, things like that. There are other ideas and other things that we both want to do. We're just limited by the time that we can dedicate to this every week. So we're still determining how to balance out these lofty goals that we have, because we'd love to be, dropping episodes and different types of things, multiple times a week. But we're also both dads, we also have other things going on in life. So we're trying to balance that out with our realistic responsibilities that we have every week. So those are all the announcements that we have for today. In the future, there might be more coming because we've got these ideas, but also we recognize our I was going to say earthly limitations, but there's another word for that. But we are but dust. We only have so much time in the day.
Yeah, and I think part of it is just we are sort of very much still in a phase of figuring out what the rhythm looks like and what, and just we're kind of, as we're trying to take this a little more seriously, that also does mean a little bit more prep on our part. per episode and things like that. So
Yep.
there's a little bit of a learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
that we're getting into here. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. And yeah, I am excited about this. It is late and it's Prime Days, people. Some of y'all
Oh,
need to
yeah.
go to stores. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me
I've
wrong.
been.
I like the overtime, but
Mhm.
boy,
There's a lot of it.
there's a
Yeah. I
lot.
see.
But yeah.
Awesome.
So and like I said, we're trying to sort of like gauge what we can do, what we can handle, and see how sustainable some of these things are.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So with our new schedule, with our new ideas, things going forward with the podcast, I hope that what you take away from this announcement as well is that we're listening to you. If you have feedback for us, we want to know. This was primarily, some of these changes were primarily made from feedback we've gotten from other listeners, from
Mm-hmm.
even people within our network, from people close to us, from good friends as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
hear you. You know what? We love you, dang it. So, show us your support.
Well.
Hey, okay, I love you, dang it. I'll put it that way. But you can show us your support by telling other people about the podcast, about
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing here. Continue interacting with us on the different platforms, whether that's, again, video here on YouTube, comment, do all that fun stuff. And then, of course, there's the Patreon if you want to jump into that as well and help
Mm-hmm.
kind of steer this thing as we're continuing forward. But I do just want to say thank you for your support. Sometimes announcements and updates can get kind of anxiety inducing and like, oh, are they calling it quits? And that's not the case here. Where I can speak for myself that we're looking forward to what's in store and what the future holds. Like I said, we'd love to be doing all kinds of new stuff as well. And
Mm-hmm.
not only that, we believe that the mission that we have for this podcast is important. We believe that the church ought to be thinking deeply about how we interact with the culture and how we interact with video games and stories and these things that we enjoy so much, and creating a theology of leisure and recreation and things like that. So we're enjoying what we're doing, and we appreciate the support, and full steam ahead, man. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. But yeah, also I'm tired. So
All right. Well, with all those announcements out of the way, guys, you've tuned in. Now get out of here. Keep beating down your backlogs, and we will continue to break down the benefits.